Hello, it's Charles with Uber Eats. Today is Friday, March 20th, 2026, and I am blessed and grateful that I received that precious gift of tomorrow with God's wake-up call, and I got to see another day here in beautiful, sunny, warm Tampa, Florida. And you also woke up this morning after receiving God's wake-up call, and you got to see another day here on earth. Tomorrow is a precious and blessed gift to receive because not everybody got God's wake-up call this morning and got to see another day. So I, for one, am most definitely blessed and feel grateful to the good Lord for giving me another day here on earth. God is good. God is great. Always and always. Amen. I had a wonderful day yesterday delivering food with Uber Eats in Tampa Bay. Just a beautiful weather. I had a wonderful breakfast to start the day off, and I made great money all day yesterday. So just a wonderful day all around. I had a little bit of a hiccup late in the day. It was my last delivery. It was a Firehouse Subs delivery, and I had no issues at the restaurant. Just a couple minute wait while they were finishing up the guy's subs. He had 2 large subs and a regular size sub, if I recall. And I do the pickup, leave for the guy's address. It was his work. I was delivered to his work, and I get to where the app is telling me to get to, and in his delivery instructions he says deliver it to the employee address. Well, it so happens, I'm not entirely sure what happened with the guy's address, but the app sent me to a hospital, and it's just so happens that the app sent me to the employee side of the hospital. So as far as I can tell, I'm in the right place. And I said, I'm in the employee entrance. And the guy texted me right back. He said, I'm at the employee entrance and I don't see you. So then he texts me right away, look for the blue canopy. Well, I'm looking around for a blue canopy, and there's no blue canopy on that side of the building of the hospital. So I come back out of that parking lot and I drive around to the other side of the hospital thinking maybe there's 2 employee entrances. And meanwhile, he didn't give me more than a minute. I said, hold on, I'm going to pull back out and drive around and see if I can see, where you're at. And this is all through text. And then it wasn't a minute later, he's calling me. And he's calling me. And I hadn't even gotten back into the hospital yet to find out where he's at. So I didn't bother answering his call, Well, by the time I get back into the hospital, where there might be an employee entrance, at that point I'd already seen where the main entrance of the hospital was, so I knew to avoid that. I knew that wasn't where he was going to be. Well, I found a second entrance to the hospital where employees were coming in and out, and there was no blue canopy there, and he wasn't there. So about the second or third call he placed to me, I answered. And at that point, he's screaming at me, he's talking about a blue canopy. And then he mentions the name of a business, X Center X or X Center or something to that effect. I don't recall what it was at this point. Well, he's screaming at me and he's not listening to anything I have to say. I explained to him, I was trying to explain to him, he wasn't listening, that the app sent me to a hospital. He says, I'm not at the hospital. I'm across the street from the hospital. He didn't say across what street. That hospital's at an intersection. So he wasn't being clear and he was pissed, understandably pissed, but I did everything I could to deliver to him. The app sent me to the wrong place, and I suspect he put the wrong address into the app, because once he explained to me that he was at that X Center or Center X building, I Googled that and it was across the street. So I suspect he put the wrong address into the app, which I can't help the fact that the customer put bad information into the app. So long story short, I got the food delivered to him and it was a pin drop. So it was a pin delivery, so I had to get the pin number for him. And fortunately, he was agreeable enough to give me the pin number, and he still tipped me. So I suspected he would end up pulling the tip away from me, but he still gave me that $4 tip, whatever. I think it was a $4 tip. Yeah, it was a $2 fare and a $4 tip, which I guess he wasn't too upset with me. It's possible he figured out that it was a him problem and not a me problem if he went back into the app and found out he put the wrong address in, which I'm not entirely sure that was the case. It might have been a glitch with the Uber Eats app and might not have been a customer problem, so it's hard to tell. But aside from that, my day went very smooth. I had good results with the app. I made another 20 deliveries, I think, towards that goal. I wrote it down here somewhere. Yeah, I think I had 21 on Monday, 19 on Tuesday, and then another 20 to make it an even 60. Well, I did another 20 yesterday, so I'm at 80 trips towards my goal of 120 this week. So I most definitely will make the 120 trips, whether it's Sunday morning or Saturday night. That's to be told. But my plan for today is to do another 20 trips this Friday, and then I'll drive. If I only do 18 or 19, that's fine. I'll drive as long as it takes on Saturday to hit 120. So I'm going to have an extra $245 on my pay this week. So I'm having a wonderful week all around. Just a great week, and the weather has been fantastic. It was beautiful weather yesterday. Sunny, warm, a light breeze, and clear sky. So you couldn't ask for better weather. And today, it was the last day of winter yesterday. And today is the spring equinox. So I'm planning on having a fantastic weekend here in Tampa, Florida. I've been inside already, and I already poured out my drink in my free cup of ice. I got my Wawa cup still. It's still holding up. That styrofoam cup I had wasn't any count. I had it about a day and a half, and it started to crack on me already. So I need to avoid using those styrofoam cups. And this morning I went with the peach tea flavor of the Monster Rehab Revive, Refresh, Recover. See that peach tea? And this can has the date. It says A2613, and A is the first letter of the alphabet. So this can was made January 13th of this year. And with today being the 20th, that means this can is 2 months and 7 days old. And it's very good. It's very fresh, and it tastes great ice cold. Tastes fantastic. The time right now is 5:41 a.m. and with weather-atlas.com saying the sun will rise this morning at 7:33 a.m. That's 1 hour and 52 minutes from now. And according to that website, weather-atlas.com, the sun will set this evening at 7:41 p.m. So today, Tampa will enjoy over 12 hours and 8 minutes of daylight. I also went on to AAA and Gas Buddy to find out about gas prices in the United States and Florida. And with the gas price this morning at this Circle K being $3.87, that's 2 cents cheaper than it was yesterday. Thursday morning it was at $3.89, and it was the same on Wednesday morning. So gas is starting to drop back down. I hope that's a trend and it's not just a fluke thing that gas is dropping back down. That might be the case, that gas is dropping back down, because according to Gas Buddy, the average price of gas in Florida has started to drop down. Wednesday it was at $3.92. It went up 2 cents more Thursday morning, but this Friday morning, it's back down a penny cheaper than yesterday. It's at $3.93. But the average price of gas in the United States is continuing to rise. Wednesday, the average price of gas in the United States was $3.79. It jumped 9 cents to $3.88 yesterday morning. And this morning, it's 3 cents more to $3.91. So This Circle K is better than the Florida state average by 6 cents, and it's better than the national average by over 4 cents. I also checked out what that website had to say about today's weather in Tampa. And this is what weather-atlas.com said we can expect for weather in Tampa today. It said sunny conditions are expected all day with a high of 79 and a low of 52. Humidity is will be at 48% over the course of the day, and winds will be out of the northeast at 11 miles an hour. There's a 3% probability of precipitation. And I also asked Meta AI about the weather today in Tampa, and this is how it responded to my question. It said, Tampa's weather is looking lovely. Expect mostly sunny skies with highs in the low 80s and lows in the low 50s. And that's very similar to what weather-atlas.com said the high and low will be today. Winds will be moderate at 10 to 15 miles an hour out of the northeast. That's a bit more brisk than what weather-atlas.com said the wind will be. And then Meta AI went on to say there's no chance of precipitation. No rain is expected. And then I also went on to the YouTube page, Fox 13 Tampa Bay. They had meteorologist Nash Bridges on there, Nash Rhodes. I don't see him much. I've seen him like I've seen 2 or 3 forecasts from Nash Rhodes, but they had him on there yesterday. Maybe he works for other weather outlets, and that's why he's not on there much. But Nash Rhodes said that the high pressure system that worked its way across the United States is now over Florida, and that's bringing warmer temperatures into the Tampa Bay and Central Florida. He said Tampa will be dry all day today, and it's going to be dry through the weekend. Expect sunny skies in Tampa and a high of 78, meteorologist Nash Rhodes said. I also checked out my Uber Eats metrics. I didn't look at my acceptance score, my customer service score, on-time deliveries and stuff like that. I just looked at those 5 metrics, but I got good results there. Thursday, after completing Tuesday's business, my deliver with care was at 705. My friendly score was at 621. My quick and efficient deliveries was at 612. My good communicator was at 606. And my perfect handoff, my area of opportunity, was at 583. Well, after completing Wednesday's business, those numbers all improved. I take that back. My good communicator did not improve. I had one person comment on my deliveries, and it looks like I wasn't using good communication skills with them, because they gave me good numbers on all of those except for good communicator. All those went up 1. My deliver with care went up 1 to 706. My friendly score went up 1 to 622. My quick and efficient score went up 1 to 613, and my perfect handoff went up 1 to 584. So I had 4 upvotes. After Thursday's business, Thursday, March 19th, this is as of this morning, I only had 1 upvote. I had 1 person respond to my service, and they only said they were only impressed with my perfect handoff. Went up 1 to 584. So I have a good ways to go before I achieve a 700 number and all those numbers. I'm there. I've hit my number with deliver with care. I'm at 706, but I need to improve my friendly score, quick and efficient, good communicator score, and perfect handoff to reach my goal of 700 by the end of this year. I wrote down all my deliveries I completed yesterday. And like I said, I had 20 customers, and it looks like I did 14 trips. I started out the day with a single. I picked up a Wawa order for Mary. This is the Wawa on East Fletcher. Mary was generous and kind and tipped me $4, and her fare was $6.62, so I made $10.62 for picking up Mary's Wawa order at the East Fletcher Avenue location. Actually, this was a double. I'm mistaken. The second half of that order was for Arnie. Arnie wanted Chick-fil-A on Cove Bend. So Arnie and Mary, they tipped me $4, and I earned a fare of $6.62. Thank you so much, Arnie and Mary, for your generous $4 tip. I appreciate that. And I appreciate the $6.62 fare. After dropping off Arnie's Chick-fil-A order, I went on a single for Angel. Angel, and this was also a double. I'm screwing this up. Angel and Amy had a Wawa and Burger King order to be picked up. They tipped me $4.57, and I earned a fare of $5.56. I made $10.13 for picking up Angel's Wawa order and Amy's Burger King order. Thank you so much, Angel and Amy, for the generous $4.57 tip. I appreciate that. And you all helped me get to my goal of 20 trips yesterday, so I appreciate that too. I'm well on my way to earning an extra $245 this week with this quest that I'm currently on. So thank you, Amy, Angel, Arnie, and Mary, for your generosity and your kindness with your tips and your fares I earned yesterday. I appreciate all of you. After dropping off Amy's Burger King order, I went on trip number 3. This was a single for Joy. Joy had a Subway order to be picked up at the North Nebraska Avenue location. Joy tipped me $3, and I earned a fare of $2 for picking up Joy's Subway order. That was a Subway inside a Walmart, I recall now. Joy tipped me $3. Thank you so much for the generous $3 tip, Joy. I really appreciate that. After dropping off Joy's Subway order, I went on a double. Trip number 4 was a double. The first half was a courier saver for Emmy, and the second half was a Starbucks order from the Hillsborough Avenue location for Jennifer. I earned a fare of $17.89 for picking up that Starbucks and courier saver, and Jennifer tipped me $4.13 for her Starbucks order. So thank you, Jennifer, for the generosity of your tip. And thank you for the business, the courier saver business and the Starbucks business. I appreciate the both of you. I had fantastic earnings with that delivery. $22.02 I earned for picking up that double. And that was my, likely my best paying run of the day. Yeah, that was the best paying trip of the day by far, $22.02. So thank you so much, Emmy and Jennifer, for that trip. I really appreciate you. After dropping off Jennifer's Starbucks order, I went on a double. This was a double for Tom and Ezra. Tom and Ezra wanted Peppo's Cuban Cafe on 4th Street. They were generous and kind and thoughtful and tipped me $7 for picking up their Peppo's Cuban Cafe order. And I earned a fare of $5.65, so I made $12.65 for that double. Thank you so much, Tom and Ezra. I really appreciate the both of you. You didn't have to tip me at all, but you did, and I appreciate that. After dropping off Ezra's Peppo's Cuban Cafe order, I went on another double. This is trip number 6. Eileen wanted Wendy's on East Bay Drive, and Furman wanted pizza picked up from the Pizza Hut on East Bay Drive. Furman and Eileen, they tipped me $6, and I earned a fare of $2.83. So I made $8.83 for picking up that double, that Pizza Hut and Wendy's order for Eileen and Furman. Thank you so much for your generous $6 tip. I appreciate the both of you, and I appreciate the fare I earned, Furman and Eileen. After dropping off Furman's Pizza Hut order, I went on a single. Trip number 7 was a single for Becky. Becky wanted Panera Bread on Almerton Drive. Becky was very generous and tipped me $11.46 for a very simple delivery to do. Thank you so much for the Panera Bread order. And thank you for the generous $11.46 tip, Becky. I really appreciate that. I made $13.46 for picking up Becky's Panera Bread order. I appreciate you, Becky. After dropping off Becky's Panera Bread order, I went on trip number 8. This was a double for Nathan and Rich. Nathan wanted Sacred Spice on Almerton, and Rich wanted Taco Bell on Almerton. Nathan and Rich, I earned a fare of $6.57 for that double, and they tipped me $4.40. So I made $10.97 for picking up that Sacred Spice order and Taco Bell order. Thank you, Nathan and Rich, for the generous $4.40 tip. I appreciate the both of you. And you helped me get closer to my goal of 120 trips this week, so I appreciate that too. After dropping off Taco Bell for Rich, I went on a single. 2 singles in a row. 9 and 10 were both singles. Savannah had a Moe's Southwest Grill order on Starkey, and Kim had a McDonald's order to be picked up on Highway 19. Savannah tipped me $6.10 and Kim tipped me $4. I appreciate those tips, Kim and Savannah. I made $9.43 for that Moe's order, and I made $6 for the McDonald's order. After that, I went on a double. Trip number 11 was a double for Vinny and Ben. Vinny had Culver's on Park Bend Boulevard, and the second half of that double was for Ben. Ben wanted Huey Magoo's chicken tenders on North Park Road. Vinny and Ben, they tipped me $6.62, and I earned a fare of $4.55, so I made $11.17 for picking up that double. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and thoughtfulness, Vinny and Ben. I appreciate that $6.62 tip. I made $11.17. Thank you so much for that, Ben and Vinny. I really appreciate the both of you. After dropping off Ben's Huey Magoo's chicken tenders order, I went on a single for Vera. Vera had a five guys order to be picked up at the Tyrone Boulevard location. Vera tipped me $4.05 and her fare was $2, so I made $6.05 for picking up that order for Vera at Five Guys on Tyrone Boulevard. Thank you for the generous $4.05 tip, Vera. I appreciate you. Then for trip number 13, I went right back to Tyrone. This was Tyrone Square, I think, but it was close to the Five Guys location. Trip number 13 was for Enos. Enos had Chick-fil-A to be picked up at Tyrone Square. I think that's inside a mall. So Enos tipped me $4.17 for picking up that Chick-fil-A order, and his fare was $3.92, so I made $8.63 for picking up that Chick-fil-A order. Thank you for the generous $4.71 tips, Enos. I really appreciate you. And then my last trip of the day was that difficult order where I couldn't find the customer right away. Trip number 14 was a Firehouse Subs order for Brian. Brian tipped me $4 and his fare was $2. I made $6 for picking up that order for Brian from the Firehouse Subs on Park Boulevard. Well, I'm going to wrap this up and get into the McDonald's here in a little bit and enjoy a wonderful big breakfast with sausage, hot cakes, eggs, 3 or 4 coffees, and a hash brown. God bless you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. I hope you have a fantastic weekend like I'm about to have.